Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to negotiate on this video today. Going to give you some more additional information about Youri Tielemans. Also going to give you the latest news about Bruno Fernandes, and like I said, there's also lots of other things to currently talk about. But we'll start with Youri Tielemans. So potentially a lot of reports were emerging out last week, saying that we've renewed our interest in Youri Tielemans, and he did basically say, we've held negotiations with his agent over the possible deal. Now, reportedly, it does say Manchester United have been offered the chance, to sign Youri Tielemans, because it's looking very, very likely he will not be, applying his trade with Monaco next season, as I think he has confirmed. But reportedly, we have rejected the opportunity, to complete a deal for Youri Tielemans. So basically, now we have opted out of the race for Youri Tielemans and all that. But I do really, really like him a lot. I do believe he would be a fantastic, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, because it's looking very likely that Paul Pogba, of course, is going to be leaving Manchester United, as that did get confirmed yesterday. So Youri Tielemans is only 22 years of age, so he would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talents and all that, and we are moving away from the policy, of signing well-established players this summer. And Youri Tielemans is available for a reasonable figure. I think Monaco rate him at around £40 million, and a lot of people have said we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, and he is under contract with Monaco till 2022, so he probably won't be staying at Monaco next season. He has now returned to Monaco, of course, because his loan spell has come to a conclusion with Leicester, but he has had about 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League. With Leicester, he did well on his loan spell with Leicester. He had been on loan with them since January. I think he played about 13 games and scored 3 goals and all that. But quite a few teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, Tottenham have recently been in there. Also, Manchester City have recently been in there for him. But I think Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal, because Youri Tielemans was pivotal in Leicester's transformation under Brendan Rodgers, and I think Leicester have been in talks with Monaco about getting him on a permanent deal and all that. But he has now returned to Monaco. Obviously, Monaco initially got him from Anderlecht back in 2017. I think Monaco paid around £21 million for his services, because I think Manchester United were tracking him when he was at Anderlecht. Obviously, Youri Tielemans began his career at Anderlecht, as you all know, but I think he's been on our agenda for quite some time. He's mainly a box-to-box midfielder. I think he can also play him as an attacking midfielder, can Youri Tielemans. So we have seen him as a replacement for Paul Pogba. But yeah, we need quite a few new additions now in that midfield. Of course, that Paul Pogba, of course, is going to be leaving the club. Obviously, it did get confirmed about Paul Pogba yesterday, as a lot of people would have updated you like I did. He told reporters in Tokyo that he does want to leave Manchester United, and that he's seeking for a new challenge. And he publicly admitted this did Paul Pogba, and he even did say he was willing to go on strike to force through a move from Manchester United to Real Madrid. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative Paul Pogba is, and I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got any intentions of selling Paul Pogba, because it was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans to build a side around Paul Pogba. That was it. It was basically in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, but we do know he's been relentlessly linked to a move away from Old Trafford. Obviously, we do know it's Real Madrid and Juventus, of course, that are battling out for his services, but obviously I do believe Paul Pogba's first choice preference is definitely Real Madrid and all that. And I think initially it did say Paul Pogba was planning to submit a transfer request in, and if that didn't work, he was willing to go on strike to force a move away from Old Trafford and all that. But maybe a couple of main factor reasons why he does want to leave the club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be in Champions League football, something Manchester United haven't got for next season, maybe he wants to be challenging and winning silverware and all that. And obviously he's not experiencing this at Manchester United, because like I said, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, since Alex Ferguson retired. We've had different managers with different philosophies, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club, players have come in, and of course players have gone and all that. So we are a toxic club at the moment. So basically I think Paul Pogba will end up making the move to Real Madrid. Reportedly we want around £150 million, and this could be problematic for Real Madrid, because they're not willing to pay up to £150 million for his services. I think Real Madrid are willing to pay at the most around £135 million for Paul Pogba. But we do know a lot of reports were coming out, was it the other week, saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing him. He did basically say last week, said that the Juventus director had travelled to London, to hold negotiation with Manchester United over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. And he does say Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Raiola. Of course, his agent Raiola just had a worldwide ban lifted, because initially he did get a ban, which means that he couldn't conduct any transfers and all that. I don't think it really provided a reason why he did get this ban, but he has had his worldwide ban currently lifted now as Paul Pogba, so he could possibly make the return back to Turin, because obviously he did have 4 good years in Turin. He exceeded expectation levels. He played really well in that 4-year period, but hasn't really replicated this form since he has made the return back to Manchester United. Obviously we paid £89 million, and obviously our most expensive signing. But like I said, Juventus I don't think they'd be able to afford Paul Pogba outright, so I think Juventus would have to offload at least 1 or 2 of their essential players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba and all that. But I don't think he's got any intentions of making the return back to Turin. Obviously, Paul Pogba is one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets. Obviously, Real Madrid have got 5 players on the board so far this summer, and Zinedine Zidane knows that Paul Pogba will help him with his rebuilding project and all that. I think Real Madrid, of course, are in for Christian Eriksen. Obviously, Christian Eriksen probably would be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid than it would be for Paul Pogba and all that. But I think Zinedine Zidane wants to get a deal over the line for Paul Pogba. But basically, Paul Pogba was saying a while back, about his dreams of playing for Real Madrid, and he did say at some point in his career, that he does want to play for Real Madrid and all that. We've seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form. We mainly saw it in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was the interim manager. He was in absolutely scintillating form with Paul Pogba. He was expressing himself. He was getting freed up, and we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasises, how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, of course, made in that midfield. Some fans will be happy he's leaving. Some fans, will be disappointed, of course, he's leaving. Because we will lack that creativeness now. When Paul Pogba, does leave the club, because he does bring that creativeness in that midfield. And when Paul Pogba's on his best form, he is like 2 players in one. But Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year. Based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. I think there was talks about him going to Barcelona in January. Obviously, I think Juventus were in for him last year, so he had a poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club. Obviously, Paul Pogba, I think last season scored 16 goals and provided 11 assists in about 47 games in all competitions. He has won the Europa League and League Cup with us. Obviously, that came in his second season with the club. But Solskjaer is basically doing everything he can, to try and convince him to remain at the football club. He came out a couple of weeks ago saying that he was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. Obviously, Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left on his contract with Manchester United, with an option of a further year. But Paul Pogba's agent Raiola, at least in the last couple of months, has been in the process of trying to secure his move to Real Madrid and all that. But Paul Pogba's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's only 26. He's in his prime. Got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, like I've just said. But Paul Pogba wants to leave because I think he wants to rejuvenate his career and all that, and he wants to be up there, winning silverware and being in Champions League football. And he's not obviously, not experiencing this at Manchester United. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as you all know, he's working on, bringing the right players to Manchester United this summer who he thinks are going to be good enough to elevate Manchester United, who he thinks, are going to fit the culture of the club, who he thinks are going to fit the history of the club and all that. But he's also working on trying to keep his imperative players at the football club. And like I said, one of his imperative players, of course, is Paul Pogba and all that. But like I said, now we are going to need replacements for Paul Pogba. But like I said, Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad this summer, because he wants to fulfil them areas, of course, where he thinks Manchester United are lacking. Obviously, we've got Daniel James on the board, our first signing this summer, our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to build on that, and he's going to want to bring another 4 or 5 players in and all that. But we need to see vast improvements going on into this season, of course, of what we saw last season, because last season, was very, very disappointing. We finished 6th, didn't win any silverware. We've got issues defensively as well. We need to address that defensive area, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season, so we do need defensive reinforcements. I think we also need someone that can come in and score us them goals that we need, because last season we wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. Of course, I wasn't scoring enough goals and all, so we need someone to come in that can score us them goals that we do need, that we do currently need. But we haven't won any silverware in the last couple of seasons. Obviously, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That was about over 6 years ago now. Obviously, that was in the last time we won it. That was in Alex Ferguson's last season. When we did win the Premier League title, of course. But, I know we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, as I have been saying. But like I said, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We've got a fantastic fan base. We're the most successful team in England historically. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be that top four, because obviously at the moment City is strides ahead of us, Liverpool is strides ahead of us. It's very imperative that we catch up the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But I think it's going to take us a number of years, to mount any kind of title challenge up. And like I said, we haven't got Champions League football for next season. That means it's going to be hard to get the players that we want. In Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season, I still believe we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. And like I said, I want Solskjaer to stay at the football club, maybe give him a couple of years at least, to see what happens, because like I said, I don't want him to get sacked, because we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers, like I said, because we've sacked 3 managers, since Alex Ferguson retired. But we just want to be back, to being a competitive elite level football club. I want to be back up there competing for silverware and winning silverware and all that. But let's be honest, no one's going to ever follow, Alex Ferguson's legacy and all that. We're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years, of course, of success that we did currently have. But yeah, I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I hope he can take Manchester United forward and all that. And I really, really hope he can. But, can he succeed now in these conditions? Because obviously we're not expected to appoint a sporting director in, and I'm very frustrated about this, because we've been trying to get a director of football in at least the last couple of months. So many names have been linked with the role, with the director's role. There was talks of Fernandes coming in, Evra, Edwin van der Sar, Paul Mitchell, and all that. So many names were linked with that director as well. And like I said, that is the structural change that we did need at the club, was getting a director to the football and that in. But it's looking like we're going to be sticking with the same structure. And obviously, Ed Woodward is going to be overseeing our transfer business this summer. So I am very, very disappointed about that. But like I said, £200 million anywhere, should be enough to get us around 4 or 5 players in. But like I said, it depends on how we are with our recruitment this summer. I think we are planning to be actually sensible with our recruitment this summer. But I think that's the right way to be, because we've got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent years. Pogba, £89 million, our most expensive signing. Lukaku, of course, £75 million. But I do expect around probably 3 or 4 players to leave Manchester United this summer. I think another problem with Manchester United as well, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. Want to give you some additional information about Bruno Fernandes. Now, he should be looking likely now he's coming here to Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, and I'm hopeful, that we can get him a deal over the line for him, because he has been one of our main targets. Like I said, he has been on our agenda for quite some time, but there has been quite a few teams that have inquired about his services. But he did initially say that we'd scheduled a meeting, with Sporting Lisbon. He did say we'd scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon, to get a deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. But potentially, quite a few teams are in there for him. I think now, according to recent reports, he says Atletico Madrid are planning to put a bid in for him of around £44.6 million sometime this week. It said to Atletico Madrid now have entered the race. Whether this would be enough to convince Sporting Lisbon to offload him, I do not know. I think reportedly Sporting Lisbon want around £50 million for him at least. Now, reportedly Liverpool, a lot of reports came out the other week from the Portuguese press saying that Liverpool have entered the race for Bruno Fernandes. Now, according to a couple of reports I've just read, it has said Liverpool have made a formal bid in for Bruno Fernandes, and I think they are the first team to make any kind of a formal bid for Bruno Fernandes. So reportedly it says Liverpool have put a bid in of around €45 million, which does equate to in pound sterling of around £40 million reportedly. But I don't think this probably would be enough to convince Sporting Lisbon to offload him. Obviously previously Manchester City have been in for him. Obviously Tottenham have been in for Bruno Fernandes, but I think now Tottenham have pulled out of the race for Bruno Fernandes, because Tottenham have got quite a few players on their agenda, especially midfielders. Obviously, Tottenham are in for Tango Ndombele from Lyon. Obviously, Giovanni Lo Celso, I think, is one of their main priority targets. So basically, Tottenham were seeing Bruno Fernandes as an alternative to Giovanni Lo Celso, and there was also seeing him as a replacement for Christian Eriksen, because obviously we know Christian Eriksen is linked to move to Real Madrid, and if Christian Eriksen goes to Real Madrid, obviously Tottenham are going to want a replacement for him. But talking about Giovanni Lo Celso, it says Manchester United do want to sign him. It came out a couple of weeks ago from Giovanni Lo Celso's preference. He wants to make the move to Tottenham. It reported out last month saying that Tottenham had put a bid in of around 53 million plus add-ons included, but reportedly Tottenham had this bid currently turned down. So Real Betis had turned this bid down. Giovanni Lo Celso is 23 years of age, so he has got a lot of years ahead of him. Obviously last season, I think he's got about 16 goals in all competitions for Real Betis. His release clause is around £88 million. I think Real Betis would be looking in the region of around maybe 70 or £80 million to offload him. But obviously, Real Betis got him last summer from PSG. They initially had him on loan, but obviously, Real Betis made the deal permanent back in April. I think they paid around £20 million, to make the deal permanent. But either way, PSG do benefit from it, obviously, if they do sell him, Real Betis, because PSG, do get a percentage, of course, of any sale and all that. So I do believe Giovanni Lo Celso is still one of Tottenham's main targets. Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer anyway, because they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows, and obviously Mauricio Pochettino is going to want back in this summer, because I think if he isn't back this summer, he has threatened to resign as Tottenham manager and all that. So yeah, Tottenham have actually pulled out of the race now for Bruno Fernandes, but we do know it's been mainly Man United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. But he confirmed the other week now that City have withdrawn their interest and that they have pulled out of the race. But I think City were only willing to pay around £47 million for his services, and it also said City were willing to offer a couple of their players as part of the deal and all that. But City have now pulled them out of the race. I think also Inter Milan have been in there for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, was saying that, he still watches, he still follows the Italian football and all that, because, when he was younger, he did spend the majority of his career in Italy and all that, with Sampdoria and Udinese. But he's had a good couple of years in Portugal, with Sporting Lisbon. I think he scored about 31 goals last season. But I think Bruno Fernandes did say he would talk to Sporting Lisbon about leaving if a team come up with an offer, that he could not refuse. It did say Manchester United, were willing to pay around £70 million for his services. So he is primarily an attacking midfielder. He's only 24 years of age and all that. So I do believe he's got all the attributes, to definitely come and succeed in the Premier League. And I do believe he would exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. He's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. His initial release clause is around £86 million. So yeah, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, of quite some time. So I'm hopeful that we can get a deal over the line for him. Reports came out the other week from the Portuguese press saying that we was very close to signing him. He said we'd reached an agreement with Sporting Lisbon. But looking at it, Bruno Fernandes, would be the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But he can score goals, can Bruno Fernandes. He can create chances and all that, and I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. He came out the other week saying that Ed Woodward, was hesitant over our move for Bruno Fernandes, because I think Ed Woodward's got reservations about spending, quite a lot of money on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the mark. But I think, definitely, Bruno Fernandes will. So the teams that have been in for him is obviously, Tottenham, Liverpool are still in for him. Man City, obviously, been in for him before, we're still in for him. Atletico Madrid are reportedly now preparing to put a bid in for him. So yeah, there has been quite a few teams that have been in for him, but I think it remains almost certain that he will not be at Sporting Lisbon next season and all that. So I still say, we are regarded as the favourites, to get a deal over the line for him. Of course, I'm very, very hopeful that we can get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. Want to give you the latest news in regards to Mario Icardi. I haven't spoke to you about Mario Icardi in a while. Obviously, Inter Milan are looking to get rid of Mario Icardi. Obviously, lost the captaincy. Was it back in February? Mario Icardi, because I think Inter Milan have become increasingly frustrated with him, and I think this is why they do want to get rid of Mario Icardi. But reports now are saying that Inter Milan have offered Icardi as part of a swap deal for Romelu Lukaku, but I think Manchester United have turned this down, because I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on bringing Mario Icardi in. But a lot of talks came out about this a while back, saying that, the Italian journalist, Damasio, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, especially in relation to Manchester United, and when it does come to transfers and a lot, he says he did believe, that Manchester United, could swap Lukaku for Mario Icardi this summer. And you know what? I do like Mario Icardi a lot, to be quite fair. I think he's a really, really good player. Got a hell of a lot of goals in him. He's an efficient finisher and all that. Leads the lines fantastically well. He's about the same age as Lukaku. I think Icardi's about 26 years of age. Obviously, he has spent the majority of his career with Inter Milan. I think he's been at Inter Milan about 6 years now as Icardi. Obviously, he's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. I think he scored over 100 odd goals for Inter Milan and all that. Obviously, the majority of his goals have come at Inter Milan. Like I said, before he was at Inter Milan, I think he had a 1 year spell with Sampdoria. I think he began his career with Barcelona, didn't he? Graduate from Barcelona's youth system, Mario Icardi. But reportedly, Inter Milan have offered him in exchange for Romelu Lukaku, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is not keen on bringing him in. But we do know Inter Milan's number one target is obviously Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, Inter Milan have been heavily linked to him and all that. Obviously, a lot of reports came out. I think reports came out last week saying that Inter Milan had offered Ivan Perisic, plus cash, for Romelu Lukaku. But again, Manchester United had turned this down, because obviously, we're not keen on bringing Ivan Perisic in. He's no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. So obviously, we have turned that down. But obviously, Antonio Conte Conte, has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Obviously, reflecting back a couple of years ago when he was the manager of Chelsea, obviously, he wanted Romelu Lukaku then, but obviously, he came to Manchester United. But it doesn't actually say that, Inter Milan have agreed everything with Lukaku, but the initial fee, obviously, the fee, could be problematic for Inter Milan, because reportedly, we want at least around £62 million for him, it did say. Reports came out a couple of weeks ago, saying that we wanted around £80 million for Lukaku, but either way, we are looking to recoup the majority of the money, that we did pay for him, from Everton back in 2017, because we got him for £75 million. Obviously, there were add-ons of £15 million included, which did initially, rise it to around £90 million, and obviously, he has still got 3 years left on his contract. Obviously, he's on about £250,000 a week, is Romelu Lukaku, but he's surplus to requirements now at Manchester United, and I think we definitely need to get rid of him, and I think us selling him, it will help us with our rebuilding process, and it will help us with our transition. But us selling Pogba and Lukaku, we'll probably raise at least around £200 million there, so like I said, it will help us with our transition and all that. But like I said, I think Lukaku wants to make the move to Inter Milan, as he's basically confirmed and all that, because obviously he's no longer short for his team football at Manchester United. So I think Inter Milan have agreed the personal terms, which means Lukaku could earn around £6.6 million in bonuses until 2024. I think it allegedly said that he's agreed a 5-year deal with Inter Milan. Inter Milan are also willing to meet his wage demands. It came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Romelu Lukaku was in Italy, saying that he held negotiations with Inter Milan's representatives over coming to an agreement on a deal and all that. So basically everything has been agreed, but the fee, so that could be the stumbling block at the moment. Obviously it did say Inter Milan need to raise around £40 million by the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations and all that. But yeah, Lukaku's been heavily linked to a move to Inter Milan, because no longer a short for his team football at Manchester United. He's been here a couple of years. Obviously, scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions. Did well in his first season, but obviously, didn't replicate that in his second season, because he enjoyed a very difficult second season with the club, because we know mainly Rashford had been first choice ahead of him, and Rashford is first choice ahead of him now, as Solskjaer's confirmed, and Romelu Lukaku is reluctant, to play a backup role, to Marcus Rashford and all that. But like I said, he has still got 3 years left on his contract. But Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back that his future is very, very open. But Solskjaer's told him his surplus to requirements. Manchester United told him, that he can leave the club a couple of weeks ago. But obviously, I think Inter Milan and Manchester United are still trying to come to an agreement on an initial fee. Potentially, I think if we are willing to let Lukaku go as part of any swap deal, I think it did say, we was interested in Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar, but Inter Milan, of course, are reluctant, to sell Milan Skriniar. They're not willing to let him go, because obviously he's just recently signed a new contract with Inter Milan. But obviously we do know Milan Skriniar has been one of our main priority targets. Well, he was one of our targets under Jose Mourinho, was Milan Skriniar. Only 24 years of age. I think he's been in Milan a couple of seasons, but I don't think Inter Milan, of course, are willing to let Milan Skriniar currently go. But saying about Lukaku, he's one of the problematic players at the club and all that, and probably we still think he's worth around 60-70 million pounds, reflecting on his age, because he's 26, he's in his prime, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But Lukaku under Jose Mourinho was first choice, but since Jose Mourinho's left, he has found himself surplus to requirements and all that. But I have got reservations about him. He's not good enough. He's a big game battler. He hasn't got that endless potential and all that. But his ratio's still very, very good in the Premier League. He's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. His pedigree's very, very good in the Premier League. So Inter Milan have offered us Icardi in exchange for Lukaku, but reportedly Manchester United are not keen on going along with this. Obviously, as I updated you on yesterday, I think I've been updating you on a regular basis about, well, at least in the last couple of days anyway, about Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. Now, we should be getting a deal over the line for him, according to recent reports. He did say the other day that we are closing on getting him for around £25 million. So I think now we're focusing on getting Sean Longstaff, that rather than focusing on getting Youri Tielemans from Monaco. Sean Longstaff, like I said, I think we're set to get him in a deal worth around £25 million. He's only had 21 years of age. He is British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made it clear, he wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. But Sean Longstaff, I think last season was on his first season in the senior squad with Newcastle. I think he played about 9 games under Rafael Benitez. I think he graduated from Newcastle's youth system. I think he also had loan spells with Kilmarnock. He also had loan spells with Blackpool. But I think he sustained a knee ligament injury, was it, back in March, Sean Longstaff. I think, is he still recovering from that knee ligament injury, if I'm right? I'm not too sure. I'll have to look it up a bit more. But he is only 21 years of age, and he is available for a reasonable figure and all that. Is Sean Longstaff, but I think he's a box-to-box midfielder and all that, Sean Longstaff. So do you think he would be the right solution for Manchester United? So looking very imminent now. He's currently going to be coming in. Obviously, other midfielders that have been on our agendas, obviously, being PSG's Adrien Rabiot. I think Adrien Rabiot's I think he still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season, but it's very imminent that he will be leaving PSG. And the beneficial thing about this is obviously no team has to pay any transfer fee for him, because obviously he's a free agent now. He's Adrien Rabiot. Obviously, he's come to an end of his contract, or he's coming to an end of his contract and all that. Obviously, hasn't played a single game for PSG this year. Hasn't played a single game for them this year. Obviously, he got withdrawn from the PSG squad last year, back in December. He'd been withdrawn by Thomas Tuchel, based on his refusal to sign a new contract and all that. A lot of people have got reservations about his attitude. Quite a few teams have inquired about his services, though. Manchester United are in there for him. Obviously, I think he did say the other day that he was in negotiation with Juventus over a possible move, to the Italian giants. Also, Liverpool have been in for him. Obviously, Arsenal, of course, have been in for Adrien Rabiot. So quite a few teams have inquired about his services. He is only 24 years of age. Obviously, he has spent the majority of his career, with PSG. I think he graduated in their youth system, been their senior squad since 2012, and he's been there about 8 years. So he has been a long-serving player for PSG. He has been a long-serving player for PSG and all that. Is Adrien Rabiot. I think he's primarily a central midfielder. I think he also had a spell with Manchester City, when he was younger, did Adrien Rabiot. But he's only 24 years of age. Reports came out, was it a week ago back, or was it a couple of weeks ago now, saying that, we'd offered him a lucrative contract, worth up to around £170,000 a week. It did also say there was a sign-on fee included, around, was it £10 million? I think that's a year. So obviously that equates to around £170,000 a week. And it did say, Manchester United were willing to meet that, but yeah, quite a few teams have been in there for him. I think obviously Everton, I think, were in for him the other week. They'd been in talks, but obviously he wouldn't want to go to Everton because Everton can't offer him any European football and all that. Maybe Arsenal have been interesting because maybe Unai Emery's keen on reuniting with the player. Obviously, Adrien Rabiot actually flourished under Unai Emery's guidance and all that, but it's looking very likely, he's going to be leaving PSG. If he was to come to Manchester United, he probably would be the replacement for Herrera. I think Herrera is going to PSG, so obviously, PSG have seen Herrera as the replacement for Adrien Rabiot. Maybe there's a slight possibility chance. I don't think it'll happen, but there's a slight possibility chance that Adrien Rabiot, could re-sign for PSG. But I don't see that currently happening. To be quite honest, because I think he remains unsure where he wants to be next season. But I think he will, be playing his trade somewhere else next season. So he's obviously being on our current agenda. And obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well about Ivan Rakitic, I've been reading recent reports up about him. It does say Manchester United are interested in Ivan Rakitic, but like I said, I've got reservations now about us, bringing Ivan Rakitic in. Like I said, he's a really, really good player. Don't get me wrong. I won't criticise him for that. He's a really, really good player. He's had a really, really good career and all that. The majority of his silver he has won has come at Barcelona. Obviously, he's been at Barcelona 5 seasons and all that. And he did say Ernesto Valverde, the Barcelona manager, he's willing to sell Ivan Rakitic this summer, if they can get a suitable offer for him and they can find an adequate replacement for him. Obviously, Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong coming in this summer, so there were rumours emerging now saying that, Ivan Rakitic, could be surplus to requirements, with Frankie de Jong arriving. I think Barcelona are intending on bringing at least another midfielder in, or bringing another couple of midfielders and all that. And Ivan Rakitic, of course, is going to find game time very, very difficult. But Manchester United have been in for Rakitic, quite a few times before. But like I said, I don't want us to bring him because his age up now is Ivan Rakitic. He's 31 years of age, and I don't think he would succeed in the Premier League anywhere. But yeah, Barcelona have confirmed they are willing to let him go this summer. I think also Inter Milan have been in for Ivan Rakitic. I think he's still got 2 years left on his contract with Barcelona. He can play as a central mid. He can also play as an attacking midfielder. Probably will cost you around 40 million quid, but I wouldn't be keen on us, bringing Ivan Rakitic in. Obviously, as you all know as well, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Obviously, he should be now making the move to Manchester United because obviously he blatantly told Crystal Palace that he wants to join Manchester United this summer. Obviously, he did say, we'd held furthermore negotiations at the weekend over coming to an agreement on a fee for Wan-Bissaka. We are planning to put a bid in for him of around £50 million. Whether this is going to be enough for Crystal Palace to offload him or not, I do not know, because initially Crystal Palace want around £60 million for Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka. We're looking at ultimately, they don't want to sell Wan-Bissaka, but I think, they want, if they have to sell him, they want around £60 million for him. But like I said, I like Wan-Bissaka a lot. He's only young. He's 21 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, and he is predominantly a right back and all that. So he's confirmed that he does want to leave Crystal Palace. He does want to make the move to Manchester United. We recently had a £40 million bid turned down for him, but we definitely need a right back because we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia. We need an upgrade to Ash. We need an upgrade to Ash Young, and we do need a cover up for Diego Dalton. I do believe Wan-Bissaka would be the right solution. So far, he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. He's been a Crystal Palace player since the age of 11. Obviously, graduated from their youth system and all that. Initially, when he was a lot younger, he wasn't an out-and-out winner, but obviously as he was developing, he got rotated as a right back. Only made his senior debut in February of last year, did Wan-Bissaka, and but last season, established himself as a first-team regular. I think he won Crystal Palace's Player of the Year last season. Based on his impressive performances. I think he's made about 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace. But I think Tottenham have also inquired about his services and all that. But reportedly, it did say Crystal Palace are demanding, if they're willing to let Wan-Bissaka go to Manchester United. It reportedly said that they are demanding for Wilfred Zaha's sell-on clause to be currently removed if they will allow Wan-Bissaka to join Manchester United and all that. And like I said, Wilfred Zaha, he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. He come out, was it about a month ago? He made an admission saying that he wants to leave Crystal Palace because he wants to be in Champions League football and all that. There was talks about him, possibly coming back to Manchester United and all that. Obviously, it did say Arsenal were in there for him, but Crystal Palace want around £80 million for him. But I think Crystal Palace would get around £80 million for Wilfred Zaha. But we've just got to focus on getting a deal off the line for Wan-Bissaka, because I do think he will dramatically improve us. And I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. I think his defensive capabilities, like I said, are very, very good. And obviously he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. And obviously he's been on our agenda, for quite some time. But there has been quite a few right backs on our agenda. But I do believe Wan-Bissaka is the top priority. Obviously, as he updated you, was it at the early hours this morning in regards to Harry Maguire. Now, he could possibly be making the move to Manchester United, even though from his own preference, he doesn't want to make the move to Manchester United. From his own perspective, he doesn't want to make the move to Manchester United. From his own preference, he wants to join Manchester City, because obviously, Manchester City, they are the dominant force in England at the moment. So, Harry Maguire, does want to make the move to Manchester City. But I think, we are confident now we can beat Manchester City to the sign of Harry Maguire. We are confident we can outbid Manchester City to the signing of Harry Maguire, because I think we are actually willing to offer more than Manchester City. So basically, Leicester want around £80 million. Leicester want around £80 million Harry Maguire. So basically, looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell him because Leicester know how much of an essential player he is to them, Harry Maguire. So they basically don't want to sell him. This is why they've priced him out of the transfer market, and they are demanding an extortionate amount for Harry Maguire. So basically, Leicester want around 80, or is it £90 million for him? Manchester City, of course, are reluctant, to pay up to £80 million for his services, because obviously Manchester City have identified Harry Maguire as their number one target to replace Vincent Kompany, and obviously but City are not willing to pay £80 million. They are only willing to pay up to £50 million for Harry Maguire, but obviously this isn't going to be enough to convince Leicester to offload him. But I like Harry Maguire a lot, and I do believe, he would address our defensive deficiencies, fantastically well. But I think he's been relentlessly, linked with a move to Old Trafford as Harry Maguire, since last summer. Obviously, the process started last summer under Jose Mourinho, because Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted. But last summer we didn't get him because Leicester, were demanding, they wanted around £70 million, and of course we were reluctant to meet that. But obviously Harry Maguire signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023. He's proven in the Premier League, and he's had a good couple of seasons there with Leicester. Leicester got him from Hull City, for around £17 million. But like I said, I think first, if he comes to Manchester United, I think, first team football, would be much easier for him at Manchester United than it would be for him at Manchester City. Because if he went to Manchester City, Manchester City wouldn't be able to guarantee him first team football week in, week out. Because City have got Otamendi in their backline, they've got Laporte in their backline, and obviously, they've got John Stones in their backline. So he wouldn't be guaranteed first team football, week in, week out. And, Harry Maguire coming to Manchester United, would help us with our own rebuilding project and all that. Like I said, 26 plus he's British, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got quite a few British players on his agenda this summer because he wants to recruit British talent, like I currently said, and all that. But I like him a lot, and I think Man United are willing to pay £80 million for his services, as it did report out yesterday. Ed Woodward's keen on getting him in, and it did say we are willing to offer him a 5-year contract worth around 350 grand a week. But if this was the process, it'd make him the most expensive defender in world football, It'd also make him the most expensive English player of all time, ahead of Kyle Walker, because obviously Kyle Walker is the most expensive English player at the moment. City paid £50 million for Kyle Walker, with initial add-ons included, which did potentially rise to around 52 or 53 million pounds. So yeah, Harry Maguire now, of course, is on our agenda, because like I said, we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. Lindelof was very, very impressive in his second season with Manchester United. But like I said, I think we need two central defenders, because Smalling's not good enough, Phil Jones is not good enough. It was a bad mistake from us, giving Smalling and Jones new long-term contracts. They have been two long-serving players at the club of Smalling and Jones. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones has been here 8 years, and they have won everything here domestically and all that. They have been here since the Alex Ferguson era, but I think they are too inconsistent now. We've got Eric Bailly, but he's initially lost his place in the team, and I think Eric Bailly's his career has been badly affected. The amount of injuries he's sustained, obviously with his fallout on the managers. I think it's had a really bad effect on Eric Bailly's career. Obviously it's looking like Rojo and Darmian are going to be going. We can get around 25 or 30 million pounds, for Rojo and Darmian, because they've both endured their difficult times at Manchester United. They've both endured their difficult times at Manchester United, like I said. But there's been delay that's been on our agenda as well. But I do believe that Matty Slick is going to end up, making the move to PSG. Obviously, reports came out the other day saying that PSG had offered Ajax around £70 million with add-ons included, and it also said PSG offered Matty Slick a 5-year deal worth around £340,000 a week. So I do believe he'll end up going to PSG. Obviously, I think his two likely destinations are Barcelona and PSG, but I think he's turned down Barcelona, or Barcelona, of course, turned him down, because obviously, the main factor problem why this occurred, because obviously, Barcelona were not willing to meet what De Ligt was demanding. They were not willing to meet what his agent Raiola, of course, was demanding. So basically, they were struggling to come to an agreement on the terms. Even though in the last couple of months, Barcelona have been in the ascendancy of getting him and all that. Some reports were speculating, saying that his transfer to Barcelona was done, the fee and that had been agreed, but they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms and all that. But like I said, I think he still remains uncertain about his future at the moment. He remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season, but looking likely, it will be PSG. Obviously, his agent Raiola has been in negotiations with PSG's sporting director over getting a deal finalised, of course. But in terms of the transfer fees, he's probably going to cost you from 70 to 75 million pounds. Is Matty Slick. But like I said, so many teams have been in there for him. Liverpool inquired about his services. I don't think Liverpool are no longer in for him now. They were in for him, but the main factor reason why Liverpool were in for him because of Virgil van Dijk, and obviously Virgil van Dijk and Matty Slick have got a good relationship. They're both Dutch, they both play in the Netherlands national team, and they do know each other really, really well. But so I don't think Liverpool are going to get him. City were previously in for him, Juventus were in for him, Bayern Munich were in for him, but Bayern Munich opted him out of the race for him. But yes, so many teams have inquired about his services. But he did say, we'd offered him a lucrative contract, worth up to 350 grand a week. Obviously, that equates to almost 17 million pounds a year, and obviously, that'd obviously, if it was to process, which it probably won't, it'd make him the most expensive teenager in world football. Well, the highest paid teenager in world football, should I say? And obviously, one of the most the most highest paid player at the club, one of the highest paid players at the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez and all that. But I don't think he's going to be coming out to Manchester United, like I said. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate Frankie de Jong, who they paid £65 million for, was it? So maybe he was keen on reuniting with his teammate, but I think there's been a change of scenery now. I think Barcelona have turned him down, so I think his likely destination is going to be PSG. But I like De Ligt a lot. He's only 19 years of age. Only he's the only defender to win the Golden Boy award. I think he won this last year, but enjoyed a great season with Ajax last season. You know, won the domestic double with them, also won the Eredivisie title with them, and of course progressed to the Champions League semi-final. So obviously Matty still, you know, wants to rejuvenate his career. I think he became more of a first team starter for Ajax, you know, when Davinson Sanchez left for Tottenham, you know, back in 2017. But he's been there, senior squad about 2.5, 3 years now. Made his senior debut just at the age of 17. You know, got named captain at the age of 18. You know, Matty said late, and I do think he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. But I don't see him now coming in. So I think potentially, you know, we have forgotten now about getting Matty's Delete in. You know, obviously we can't offer him Champions League football as well, and I think he wants to go to a team that can offer him Champions League football. Obviously as well. He wants to go to a team that can show him first team football and all that. And, you know, I think Manchester United would be able to guarantee him first team football, but, you know, we haven't got Champions League football. And I think, you know, that's, you know, gone against us about this. But yeah, like I said, there's been quite a lot of central defenders on our current agenda, because that's one of the pivotal areas where we do need to strengthen up. But yeah, guys, that's mainly everything to update today. I do presume Sanchez, you know, should be going as well. We need to definitely get rid of Sanchez because he's one of the problematic players at the club. But yeah, like I said, it's mainly everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.